Hi everyone, bonsoir, welcome back to No Break November. This will be video 19 and this is about interlocking, how I interlock this client's hair and the methods that I use to interlock when it comes to hair and just the thought process behind interlocking, at least when I interlock. And I did a whole update on her hair in the previous video. If you guys want to go watch it, I talk about how she went from retwisting to interlocking and showing the differences and the effects that it had on her hair. And I also talked about why someone would want to interlock or not interlock. But this is basically the initial interlock that I did on her hair, and I told you guys it was a soft interlock, and a lot of you wanted to know what is a soft interlock. So I'm going to show you here shortly, but this is pretty much her hair before we interlock. And a soft interlock is pretty much not interlocking super tight or super close to the scalp. If you have to struggle to pull the latch hook or whatever tool you're using out, that's going too far. So this right here, what I'm doing here is pretty much what a soft interlock would be. I'm not even using a tool to keep me from not going too close to the scalp, and I'm just using my fingers. I did this with my 3-year-old when I started his locks because I didn't want to basically put too much compression on whatever size his locks wanted to be. So I'm doing it right here with a longer lock, and the reason I'm doing it right here is because she has a lot of new growth in that area, so I'm just going to use that new growth to either create new locks or add it to an existing lock that needed some more foundation. But that's pretty much what it is, just not really doing a really compressed interlocking, but leaving room for the hair to still swell up and thicken up. And this is what we did when she did her initial interlocking. What I'm doing here, I'm just using one of my Dxlynlocs tools, crochet tools, to just pull in some super excessive frizz. I'm not going to tighten the lock at all. I'm just pulling in some excessive frizz. Some people ask me, should they do this? Should they buy the tool to do this? If you have normal frizz, you don't need this. If you don't have more frizz than you see here, or if you don't have this issue here where the hair is not in the lock, you don't need to do this. Your hair will naturally mature and naturally incorporate those frizzy hairs into the lock over time. It is a process. So if you don't have this going on right here, I don't recommend using this tool on your starter locks. And here I'm doing another what I call soft interlock with just my fingers, just guiding the hair and giving it a good base, but not really making it super tight to the scalp to where her hair is too compressed. So pretty much I'm going to show you guys how I interlock and explain kind of my thought processes behind how I interlock. So pretty much I do the normal 4 directions. And the way I determine how many passes I'm going to do is how much new growth do I have? How much budding do I have? If I have a lot of budding, it's probably not going to be that many passes. If I don't have that much budding, it's going to be a lot more passes. Sometimes, depending on how long the person goes without getting an interlock, and depending on how their hair grows and how their hair behaves, that can determine how many passes you're going to need to do as well. So here, I'm not going to do any more passes because not only do I have it in the position that I want it to be, which is down, but it is as tight to the scalp as I would want to go. And interlocking depends on who's doing it as well. Some people like to go really, really tight. Some people don't. I'm one of those people who doesn't because I feel like it's unnecessary. And then I feel like going lightly definitely leaves room for the lock to still do what it does. So here I'm going to do 5 passes, so I'm going to start in the position that I want the locks to be. So the idea of the numbers of passes is where you want the lock to stop at. A lot of people have a problem with their lock stopping in all different directions, but if you're conscious of what direction you want it to go in, then you can avoid that, or you can make sure you have it go in one direction every time. For example, this one on the side here, as most locks around the perimeter, they tend to have more of a stretched out new growth, or seem to have less budding than the ones in the middle that are bunched up. So naturally, if I know I was going to do 4 passes, the north, south, east, west, I would start from the right or the left. It doesn't matter. I prefer to start from the right, but because I see that this one has a lot more length to interlock than the others, I'm not going to start from the side. I'm going to start down, because this is where I want to end. And if I know if I start from the side to end somewhere, I would end up probably upside down, and the lock would be in a crazy position. So I'm going to start down. And then I'm going to go to the right. You can go left if you want to, but the opposite time you need to go to the right. But then I'm going to go up. And then after that, I'm going to go to the left, because the last time I went to the right. And then I'm going to go down again. And that makes 5 passes. So if I would have started to the side, I would not have ended down. I would have ended on the left side. And I'm going to explain this a little bit more, because I know some people interlock and they don't even think about it, and that sometimes leads to error, because some people with interlocking, of course, most people desire for their locks to lay down or go in one direction, and that's where error comes in, because once you have the lock, say you have the lock, you finish at the top, then you're like, oh crap, I wanted to go down, so you go down instead of side. So that's why I like to evaluate how many passes I'm going to need to get the hair in the position that I want it to be. And I don't really, as I said before, worry about making it tight to the scalp, because that does not help the lock in any way, in my opinion, making it super tight to the scalp. So basically what I'm doing here is I just measured it with my finger, and one finger was able to go through and leave a little room, so I know that's about 4 passes. So that's one way to measure how many passes you're going to need. One finger went through, so I know about 4 passes should do it. And here I'm going to put my fingers in again. About 2 fingers can go in there, so I know that'll be at least 5 to 6 passes. So I'm going to start down. That way I can end either down if it's 5 passes, or to the side, to the right side if it's 6 passes, and it still leaves it in a desirable position. A few key things to remember when interlocking is to never ever go in the same direction back to back. So if you want to go down and you went down and you see you need more, and you go down again, then you just made a big hole in the lock that will never close. So that's a huge no-no. Do not go in the same direction twice. Also, do not do it super tight. I've said that in the beginning of the video. I'm gonna say it again. Do not do it super tight, because you can create like a knot in someone's lock if you do that. before interlocking, evaluate what's going on, evaluate the whole head, see how many locks have a certain length of new growth as opposed to other locks. And if you're doing this to yourself, you can still evaluate it and you can still take precautions so you don't mess yourself up. Now on this side, she had quite a bit of budding with her new growth, so I knew that it would only be around 3 passes, so I started up because I know I wanted to end in the opposite direction because that 3 is an odd number. And that's it. And I'm gonna do that to the one here. I just feel for the buds and I feel that, okay, there's good budding here. So I'm gonna start to the right because I have enough growth to pass through 4 times. And then here I feel a pretty big bud, so I know it's gonna be 3. So I start up because I want to end in the opposite direction. All right, and that's it. This is the finished product. Her scalp is maintained. Her locks are still nice and fluffy, and nothing is super tight to the root. And I'm gonna go ahead and style it in the same style that I did the last time she got a retwist, just to compare what the two looks like. And you guys should have seen the picture already in the thumbnail for the first video. So there's one more video after this to show how I attach a baby lock that she accidentally cut off. So I had to reattach it. So stay tuned for that video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, practice makes perfect. So definitely get you a mannequin. Practice how to interlock. Even if you're a licensed cosmetologist or barber, practice is the best thing you could ever do, no matter what you do in life. If you just think you're good at it and you stop, all of a sudden you're not good at it anymore. You have to keep practicing. Even me, I grab a mannequin and practice braiding. Braiding is one of the first things I did in terms of hair, and I'm more on the lock side now. I don't really braid anymore, but I still pull a mannequin out here and there and make sure my skills are still, you know, they're still somewhat there. So definitely practice and invest time in what you want to do. And for those of you who want to see certain specific videos, become a member. One of my membership perks is you get to request videos specifically for what you're looking for, and I will make a 101 video really detailing what it is that you want to see. So definitely, if you're interested, become a member and you can request videos. Also, anyone emailing me about appointments, know that I am not accepting any new clients for retwists right now. I'm not accepting any new clients for starter locks as well, but I may be next year. Once the new year begins, I'm hoping to accept new clients once I get settled, because I'm all over the place. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.